Here's the truth. 95% of bars, on average, are losing 20 to 25% of their profits from bartender overpours and negligence. Study after study proves this, and yet stubborn bar owners refuse to do anything about it. Okay, in fact, John Taffer, the TV personality, bar aficionado, business guru, claims emphatically that the number one reason bars and restaurants are failing one after another is because the staff is robbing them blind, because the owners and managers are not aggressive enough when it comes to enforcing cost controls, or they don't believe there's a problem. Okay, the number one reason. Did I mention that? All right, 25% of the profits gone, wiped out. Okay, why don't owners and managers give a shit that every fourth drink poured is free? All right, by the way, I'm Dave Allred, the Real Barman from barpatrol.net. Great to have you. Today's video is all about me refusing to get off my soapbox until I pound it into bar owners and managers' heads how important this is. Okay, I was a bartender for 15 years. I worked in more than a dozen different bars around the San Francisco Bay Area, so I know what goes on behind the bar. Okay, and I'm no angel. Okay, I've overpoured and given away my share of drinks. Conformity is contagious. And when you're bartending, you don't realize how difficult it is to succeed as a business. Okay, all you see is the markup on alcohol, and you think that the business must be killing it. Okay, and while there is a big markup, what you don't pay attention to as a bartender are all the slow times when nobody's coming in. But the owners are still paying for rent and electricity and all the employees that are still on. Okay, the expenses are never ending. So to add another 25% loss on top of that, okay, it's crazy. All right, and I didn't realize this until I started managing and running bars myself. And then I started Bar Patrol in 2011, my own inventory auditing business, in which I'd go into bars and I count their inventory, I record their losses, and that really opened my eyes. Okay, the average variance for the more than 100 bars I audited was 27%. Okay, do you know what the variance or shrinkage is in the retail business? 1 to 2%. You know why? Because they have systems in place to monitor their staff. All right, plus they don't drink bourbon while selling shoes, but that's beside the point. Okay, and you know what the result of all this is? They save billions and billions of dollars each year. Okay, that's billions with a B. Okay, the bar industry is just the opposite. Okay, studies show that the bar industry loses approximately $10 to $15 billion per year because there's no monitoring system in place for the bartenders. All right, but the biggest plague of all this is the conformity. Okay, it's the mentality that it's just the way it is in the bar industry, that there's nothing that can be done or that should be done about it. All right, but today, starting with you right there through the screen, we're gonna change all that. Okay, but you've got to get tough. You have to be a leader. Okay, and here's what I learned about running a bar and managing bars after more than 30 years in this business. You can't be friends with your employees at work. Right now, I didn't say you can't be friendly. I didn't say you can't genuinely care about them and treat them right. I think that's extremely important when you're a leader, to care about your employees and to find out what's going on in their lives, be interested in them as a person. I think that boosts morale, okay? But you can't go out drinking with them after work and be buddy-buddy and swap gossip stories. I'm sorry, but friends implies that you are on equal ground, and you're not. Okay? You need to have authority over them. And if you're afraid to confront your bartenders and have serious conversations with them about the pouring standards behind the bar, and it's too much trouble to monitor them with a good inventory management system, then you should get a job at 7-Eleven ringing up big gulps and cough syrup for people. Because any other path than enforcing the standards set in the business, assuming that you have any standards set at all, leads to the staff doing exactly what they want instead of what the system dictates. Okay, as the saying goes, when the cat's away, the mice will play. Okay, your bartenders are the mice. You're the cat. You not managing them means that you're away at all times. Okay, stop being away. All right, back when I was a bar auditor, I remember walking into a very popular Greek bar and restaurant in San Francisco. And this place had very high sales, but very bad profit margins. So I had a meeting set up with the general manager about using my inventory services to monitor the bartenders in order to control costs and increase those profits. Now, I knew for a fact that the bartenders were pouring way too heavy and giving away drinks, and the bar was just bleeding money. Now, I'd witnessed it myself. So we sat down, we had the meeting. I told her exactly what I do. I count the inventory, I monitor the pours, I send out reports to the staff showing the variance. I basically shut down the losses, and in the process, I saved them thousands of dollars per month. Okay? What do you think that GM said to me? She said, well, thanks for coming in, but I don't think your system would go over well here. The bartenders have been here a long time, and they wouldn't like it if we brought in a system that monitored them. Okay, I don't want to rock the boat. All right, and I had to take a few seconds to register the words that had just come from her mouth. Okay, she was basically saying what a lot of managers were thinking but would never admit to, which is, I'm scared that they'll think I'm an asshole. Okay, I'm afraid that they won't like me, so I'm not going to say anything. And that's it. And you know what? She was right. Okay, the bartenders probably wouldn't like it if she stopped them from embezzling money from the company. All right, taking the owner's money. Now, I guess they wouldn't like that at all. They probably would stop being her friend if she cut off their source of stolen income. All right, no wonder they've been there for so many years. And I remember thinking, this coward of a GM who is responsible for running one of the most popular restaurants in San Francisco is what's wrong with the bar industry, because she was too afraid to actually do her job and confront the almighty bartenders who are supposed to be working for her. All right, what a worthless set of standards she had set for this place. Okay, and I'm not sure what she was even being paid for. Today, if she was working for me there would only be one result: fired. Okay, and I'm not trying to be a tough guy. Okay, it's just bad business. You've got to stop letting the bartenders run the show. Okay, or more accurately, you've got to stop pretending that they aren't running your business. All right, and look, I know this might seem psycho or overdramatic, this subject, to some of you watching or listening to this. You know, I can hear some of you like, geez, like lighten up, Dave. You know, that's just the way we do it in the bar industry. No, I can't do it. In an industry in which bars and restaurants fold and go under because of bankruptcy so often, it's time to stop being casual and cavalier about your staff stealing from you. Okay, do you see employees at Nike or Nordstrom or Banana Republic just handing out shoes and shirts to their regulars? Okay, why is it any different? And if you want to hook up a regular here and there, like give out a few free drinks, if that's how you want to run your business to keep customers happy, fine. But the bartenders need to ask permission first, then the drink is poured, then it's rang into the POS system, and it's comped, so it's accounted for. Now it's tracked, and you know where everything is going. Okay, there's a system in place, not one created by the bartenders so they can fatten their own wallets. Okay, because their system is just stealing. All right, and the point is, you need to grow some balls, okay, or a vagina. Okay, I'm gender supportive. All right, you need to tell your staff what the standards are and that you expect them to be upheld. Okay, that means on a daily basis. That means continually being on them, all right, in a productive, positive way, of course. Okay, and it means confronting them on issues that aren't being done correctly. That means having difficult conversations. That means monitoring their pours and actions behind the bar to hold them accountable. Okay, stop being their friend and start demanding that they do their job like others do in all the other industries, without embezzling, without making decisions on the business's behalf for their own benefit. Your employees need you to change. They need you to be a great leader. They need your structure. All right, so with that said, here's the system you need to implement to stop the bleeding. And it's weekly inventory control, auditing, and communication. In other words, track everything. And I understand that as a bar owner or manager, it's very time consuming to track every bottle, liquor, beer, and wine on a consistent basis, which is why owners and managers become very lackadaisical about inventory and why bartenders, intentionally or otherwise, end up draining their profits from the bar. Okay, and the only way to hold them accountable and to train them to be conscious of their pours is to take precise inventory on a weekly, not a monthly basis. Because you can spot check them 1 or 2 days during the week to see how individual bartenders are pouring. It takes like 10 minutes. I have a video for that you can go check out. Okay, but that means you need a precision inventory system in place, which you will love anyway, because compared to what you're doing now, it's going to cut your inventory time in half. It's going to allow you to run detailed reports and do your ordering for you. All right, you go check us out at barpatrol.net. We have the #1 bar inventory app and software for independent bars and restaurants. We're only $49 per month, but you don't have to choose Bar Patrol. Okay, I'm not forcing you to, but you need to find something if you want to change the type of business you are and the type of business person you are. All right, your inventory system should be able to show the difference between what was ringing into the POS system and what the bartenders actually poured for each and every product and each and every brand that you carry, so you can shove it in your staff's face and say, why is this missing? All right, and your Excel spreadsheets can't do that. All right, don't be afraid to say it's not okay for them to steal. These days, managers want to be friends with everyone on the staff and don't want to be the bad guy, so they let things slide because they don't want to be disliked. I call bullshit. If you don't want to run the business as it should be run, then like I said, go back to serving or be a dishwasher or raise horses on a ranch or whatever. Managers are there to lead and help the business make as much profit as possible. All right, so it's up to you to go out and change the world, all right, or at least the bar industry. Okay, it's time for a paradigm shift and the thought process that losing 25% of a business's profits is okay. All right, be different. Don't just follow the herd so you can be liked. Forge your own path by becoming an amazing business owner and manager. Okay, both need to be great leaders. Okay, and if your bartenders don't like it, bye. Find yourself another job. It's just not worth it to have that sort of toxicity in your business. All right, thanks for listening to me rant and rave at you. I only want what's best for you. You can check out this video over here so I can yell at you some more. I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. I do appreciate it. I'm going to see you next time. I'm out.